through the portion of the racetrack known as the parking lot, a portion of the track that will not be a part of this circuit next year. Kart officials tell us they're going to add down at the opposite end of the racetrack, down around Bicentennial Park at the American Airlines Arena, lopping off the car park that has posed so many problems this weekend for the kart drivers.
Again, great overhead shots here. The brake zone, he closes up Kanaan. The odd place he pulls out, he's got more of a lead this time than he had on that last lap. This is turn 16. Our announce booth is just off to the right-hand side. But in the brake zone of turn 1 here, you see Dixon. He's a tiny bit further behind now than he has been. And in fact, he followed Kanaan in the brake zone that time.
Into the car park area once again. Here's Ralph Shaheen.
Bob, in talking about this battle, I spoke to Scott Dixon yesterday about putting pressure on the driver in front of you. He said the tough part about it here at Miami is that if you're in front, you can pretty much keep the guy behind you because the track is so narrow. He said it's very difficult because of Derek, as you know, it's called the rubber band effect. When you're racing down the straightaway, you close up under braking, and the other guy gets to score off the tight corner quicker than you, and it's a constant pulling back and forth of the rubber band.
Absolutely, and sometimes it's only 15 feet on the racetrack, but the car in front has a huge advantage in a situation like this, which then pressurizes every man that's on his knees and fueling the car during pit stops to be absolutely perfect, because that could be where this race is won or lost.
As it was in the most recent race of the series on the oval at Corby, England, the Rockingham 300. Dario Franchitti battling with Kenny Breck for the victory. They came into the pits together. Franchitti's stop was quicker. He took the lead and held it to the end.
Believe it or not, in that race, Franchitti made 6 pit stops to everybody else's 4 and managed to win. That might be a classic example of coming out of sequence and actually it falls into your lap, falls your way.
See the running order at the upper left of your screen. The race were to end now with D'Amata 6th, Fittipaldi 7th, Junqueira 10th, and Carpentier dead last in 18th. Points championship would look like this. D'Amata with 199, Junqueira 63 back, Franchitti 67 behind, Carpentier 84 back. That is not the 68-point margin that Cristiano D'Amata needs to clinch the Vanderbilt Cup and a $1 million bonus today. On board with Christian Fittipaldi, but is just behind Dario Franchitti.
Gives up the road in Keith Biscayne. He's known to be very good in the wet, very good on these low grip tracks. Raced the Bush race last weekend, said he made a huge blunder, jumped the start, and when he was being told to come in that he would get a black flag, he was on the radio, completely missed the line, up in the gray, and stuck the thing in the wall.
There's Cristiano D'Amata. Once again, he needs a 68-point margin over the field by the end of the day. He had 58 coming in, so he needs to net 10 points over the field to win the championship right now. His position will only earn him 5 of those points. On board again with Fittipaldi.
And just look at the apex. Clip the apex there. Clip it right side. Clip it left side. Clip it again to left. Look at the correction. Oh, Dixon tries it. He takes the 2 leaders out.
Dixon moved to the right. Kanaan moved over in defensive position. They made contact. Kanaan able to continue. I don't think Dixon will.
What a huge blunder. Wow. He feinted that move time and time again. I'm having a real close look here. I do not see damage to Tony Kanaan's car. Maybe he got away with this.
I cannot believe that car is no more damaged than what it looks like.
And he retained the lead.
Dixon out and carrying his right arm gingerly. I wonder if his arms took a shock when the wheel was ripped from his hands when he hit the wall.
A man who displayed so much discipline in Denver when he caught his teammate Bruno Junqueira and followed him lap after lap in a car that looked to be faster. He finished second, but he made the brave move down inside Tony Kanaan, and Tony was in a defensive mood, blocked the move, and there was contact. 19 laps into it.
Let's take another look.
This is the brake zone. We saw this earlier on. Tony Kanaan has moved in. Look at the zone he's in. Look, oh, leaves no room for Scott Dixon, who hits Tony Kanaan first. Look at Kanaan here spinning, and he gets away with it. So Dixon hits Kanaan and hits the wall. And unbelievably, look at Tony. He actually spun him right to the apex and left him facing the right direction, and he gets away with it.
A big impact with the right front wheel of Kanaan's car. Jan Bikus.
Well, one thing, Derek, when you see Tony Kanaan take that defensive move, as you called it, what's your view on that? Because it appeared to me as though he squeezed Dixon over to a part of the track where there's not the same level of grip, and you know when you get on the marbles, there's very little control.
That's an interesting point, Jan. I'm going to talk about that in just a second.
We'll take a break while we're under yellow and be back with more of the Grand Prix Americas from the streets of Miami. Back under green on lap 25, Cristiano D'Amata, who has yet to pit, is now in the race lead after starting 6th. And that is exactly what the Brazilian needs to do to have any shot at clinching the championship today with 3 races to go.
That was the perfect pit call by the Newman Haas team to put that amount of fuel in to leapfrog those guys to get him to the head of the field, particularly as Kanaan has had his problems. I'm just surprised he got away with it. I'm surprised he didn't bend the suspension on that Pioneer car.
Here's the look from overhead. Tony Kanaan started race from pole, led the first 20 laps before Scott Dixon, who started P2, made a move on him. Kanaan squeezed him into the wall, was adjudged to have committed a foul and was sent to the back of the grid, the back of the pack on the racetrack by officials.
And now we have 2 championship contenders, first and second. Dario is still mathematically in this, although he did say after Denver, when he was taken out by Paul Tracy, his championship chase is over. It is far from over yet. It looks slim because the man is ahead of him, but it's not over yet.
On the other title contenders, Dario Franchitti runs 2nd. Bruno Junqueira is 6th. Patrick Carpentier is 17th. And Tony Kanaan, who, as I mentioned, went to the back of the pack, or in this case, 17th, is now up into 13th place after 1 lap of green. He still has a pit stop to make, as do D'Amata, Franchitti, and Fittipaldi, running 1, 2, and 3 up front. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen with Tony Kanaan's car owner.
That would be Mo Nunn. Mo, they sent your driver to the back here. How do you feel about that call?
Well, it's racing. They said he moved over and blocked the 2nd place guy, so doesn't matter what I feel. They put the penalties out there, and we have to accept them.
Has he said anything about the handling of the car since the impact?
Yeah, he said it's a little strange, but the steering straight, everything looks okay, but he said it's a little funny.
Thank you, Mo. And Bob, to go a little bit deeper on that, we did catch a little conversation over the radio. Tony is complaining more about it when it turns to the left than when to the right. He says it is just a little bit of a weird feeling, a different sensation, but he's not too worried about it, only when he turns to the left.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Dixon complained when it turned to the right. Could that send him into the wall?
Oh, a bitter disappointment for Scott Dixon.
You know what? Kanaan's doing well, though. He's passed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars on a track historically very difficult to make passes on here. There's Fernando. That was Nakano, top of the picture. Kanaan's right behind Nakano.
Working lap number 27 now. The cars that have not pitted must pit by lap 42.
The amazing thing is, there's Tony to the left of the picture right here. The amazing thing is, they have made 1 spring change on Kanaan's car all weekend long here, because he was fast immediately when they unloaded the car. 100-pound spring change. That was all they did. He simply got in and drove it.